Welcome back to Recaps. We will be recapping a 2019 sci-fi romance movie called Alita's Battle Angel. Make sure to enjoy, watch out and take care. An upper-class city named Zulum lived above a lower-class city named Iron City, in which all of Zulum trash is disposed from the sky to a scrap yard there, in where we meet a man named Dr. Dyson Ito, a robot repair engineer looking for junks, and found a destroyed cyborg girl named Alita. Her brain was still intact, so he took her for repairs in his lab assisted by his assistant. Alita wakes up in the morning and sees her body is fully robotic and touches herself to see what it feels like. She meets Dr. Ito and his assistant. She doesn't remember who she is or how she ended up at the dump site, but Dr. Ito decides to show her Iron City, but she is amazed by Zulum City floating in the sky, and Dr. Ito tells her that no one can go up to Zulum except they win a very dangerous game of motorball, but he doesn't want her getting involved. While Alita was feeding a dog a sandwich, a police robot came from nowhere about to run them over, but was saved by a boy named Hugo, a robotic parts collector, and she surprisingly skillfully retrieved and saved the dog, but Hugo was intrigued by her. Over the next couple days they spend a lot of time together and try to remember what her life was before, but she couldn't. Although Dr. Ito tells her not to play motorball, she loves playing motorball and is surprisingly good at it. Dr. Ito's ex-wife Dr. Sharon works for a man named Vector, the head of motorballing. At night she sees a suspicious action from Dr. Ito, coming back late with a disguise and blood on his hands at night. One day she decided to follow him and see where he is sneaking off to every night. She sees he is about to attack someone and comes to help him. She found out that he was a city vigilante called the Hunter Warrior to keep the city safe, but unfortunately it was a trap. He tried his best in attacking them but wasn't strong enough to face them. As they were about to kill Alita, they were surprised that she possessed an unmatched fighting ability and defeated the first robot. The big robot named Grushka, getting more mad, promising to destroy her as she dodged a blow from him, jumping to land him with a kick when she had a flashback of her former life. She was in a fighting battle on the moon and she was called 99 by her teammate. She broke his arm and chased him underground. He promised to take his revenge, and Orishka returns to Dr. Ito's wife and Vector, telling them about Alita's strength. While Alita disobeys Ito's instructions and went to a motorball game with Hugo, which she was very excited to see. She liked the fast movement and high violence it entailed. Hugo tells her that he worked for Vector selling parts, but didn't tell her that he steals the parts from people forcefully, detaching it from their bodies, and then gives it to Vector. Alita, Hugo, and his friends go out of town to see a lost ship to see if she knew anything about it and remember more of what happened to her past. Considering her incredible strength and fighting skills she possesses, she got underwater and into the ship, where she found a super soldier suit which she took back home and begs Dr. Ito's to help to assemble the suit to her body to stop the people trying to hurt them, but he refuses to because of the risk. She gets angry and goes to register to be a Hunter Warrior just like Ito was. Hugo and Alita enter a bar where all the best Hunter Warriors stays and go to buy themselves a drink. She begs for their help to fight Orishka, and they all laugh at her because of her size and she was a girl. When one of the best Hunter Warriors out of all them, named Zupin, is challenged by her, she smashed his face to the table there, and he tries again but was defeated by Alita's exceptional fighting skills. She now challenged everyone in the bar, beating every single one single-handedly, one by one, till Orishka the robot, who Alita removed his hand, came back brand new, stronger, and ready for his rematch with Alita. He takes her underground, where they fought intensively, but although Alita was strong and could fight, the body Ito built for her wasn't that strong and was cut up by Orishka's weapon and landed to the floor. As she crawled in pain with only half of her body in place, she still managed to handstand with one hand and somersault her hand into his eyes, and was chased by one of the Monster Hunter's dogs. Dr. Ito took her back to his lab and instantly installed the new suit on Alita. She woke up hours later feeling 10 times stronger and better than before. She goes to meet Hugo with the new suit, where he confessed his love for her. The next day she came to his apartment and offered her robotic heart to Hugo to sell because he sells parts and was expensive and could get him to Zulum, because she knew how important going to Zulum was to him, but he denies it. Days later Alita go to play in the motorball competition because of her new incredible strength, but unknown to her, all the players has been assigned by Vector to kill her while playing. Meanwhile Zupin wants to arrest Hugo, wanting for theft. Hugo manages to narrowly escape while still being chased by Zupin. Dr. Ito sees this as a big setup and tries warning Alita, but she is too caught up in the moment to realize. By the time Ito told her the match was already starting and they all immediately started trying to attack Alita, but she proves to not only be faster than them but also with better skills. Hugo calls Alita for help from being chased by Zupin during the game. Although their various attempts on stopping Alita, they couldn't. She was destroying them and they chased her to somewhere she was surrounded, and she decides to escape from the game, but their mission was to kill Alita and not the game, so they followed her as she ran to save Hugo. She managed to defeat all of them with her amazing strength and stop Zupin from killing Hugo, but she sees he is a thief and has a $30,000 fine to his head to any hunter warrior who catches him. Zupin kills Hugo as it was the law. Alita couldn't do much but carry Hugo away from there and expect him to die. She cries holding Hugo in her hands about to die, but Ito's wife had pity on him and helped him. Out of straight rage and anger, she goes to the Hunter Warriors headquarters with the sword from Zulum and started taking down all the robots there for ordering the kill of Hugo. They shot full fire back at Alita but was no match as she takes down all the robots. She enters Vector's facility wanting to kill him for tricking Hugo into doing dirty works for him, when she had another flashback of her former life. On her way to Zulum with her former crew, although they tried shooting it, they didn't make it. She comes back and remembers everything about her past life and how they all died on their way to Zulum. Orishka tries defending Vector, but because of the upgrade her suits had, he was too slow, and she uses her sword to cut him in half. She knows Vector is just being controlled and a pawn, and the real person watching all their moves from the sky in Zulum is a man named Nova. Alita kills Vector and tells him she is coming for him. Meanwhile, Hugo was restored but was now also a cyborg and was climbing his way to Zulum as it has always been his dreams. Alita comes to try and stop him from that dangerous mission, but Nova sees this and sends a sharp drone their way. Hugo didn't see it on time, and as Alita tries to save him, his body gets pieces and Alita manages to hang tightly onto his hand to prevent him falling down. As she hangs on, his body isn't strong enough, and as they confess their love for each other, Hugo fell off and Alita cried. Days later, Alita was determined and ready to win the motorball contest and head to Zulum to take on Nova. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. Share your thoughts with people below in the comments section. Thanks for watching.